On my way to pick my baby up from school, I got a perspective for y'all today. You know, I was sitting here thinking about the many instances that God has communicated with Satan. You know, God and Satan talk. Y'all might not remember that. You know, if you think of Job, if you think of even Abraham, if you look at the apocryphic text in I believe it's the book of Jasher, it might be the Testament of Abram, but it speaks to God talking to Satan, and they're talking about Abraham and how righteous Abraham was, and God allowing Satan, actually putting it on Satan's mind to test him, kind of like he did with Job. And it was interesting because I was just sitting here driving thinking about why God allows certain things to happen, because that's been on my mind a lot lately. Why God allows stuff to happen, you know, especially to his faithful, especially to those that really seek God, you know, because and this is not a judgment, this is just a perception that I have. You know, many of us, there's some of us that don't really seek God. We just want the superficial layer of that relationship, just so that we could say we have some sort of relationship with God. But there are others that really seek God, that really put in the work and the activity behind it. And I believe that God honors that in those people, because a lot of people, especially people in spiritual environments that may not ascribe to a Christianity type of perspective, and they speak of the gods and they say that the gods don't care about what happens amongst the people, and that we're just mere pawns to fulfill their will and what have you. And you know, that might be true to an extent, but I believe that those that really seek God, God honors those people. I do. I believe Satan himself also honors those people. Everybody has a role to play in this thing. We get all emotionally caught up in it, but really it's just people playing their roles, whether it's God playing God's role and Satan playing Satan's role and the angels playing their role. Everybody has their own respective role. So when they look upon the people and they understand the dynamic going on amongst the people, especially in our current state of affairs where many of us really don't know what's going on. We're searching around in the darkness looking for the truth. When one stumbles upon something that they feel is true, and they follow it and they continue to seek it against all the adversity that comes upon them, they continue on in love, because it's only love that gets you to that. And they submit themselves humbly before God, and they continue in their search and in their alignment throughout all the many winds and the situations and all the different things that come upon them to divert them from it. I believe wholeheartedly that God respects that. I believe that Satan himself respects that. And that person is not a mere pawn at that point. That person has earned something through their activity. See, within the godly realm, within anything in life in general, all things are earned. Nothing is given. Anything in spirit, anything in the spiritual walk that I've gotten thus far is that nothing is given. It is not a coddling kind of environment. Spirit is not that. It is tough love. It is not for the faint of hearts. This spiritual walk is not for no faint of hearts. There is no more gangster individual than a highly spiritual person. I'm telling you, y'all running around around here talking about you gonna go do this to somebody and that to somebody, that don't make you strong and courageous. If anything, it makes you weak and lost. What makes you strong and courageous is being matter of fact about your alignment, matter of fact about your walk, matter of fact about how you handle yourself, a matter of fact about what you allow into your kingdom. All of these things matter because they're highly spiritual things. They're character-driven things. Whew, it just gets me. Because these are the jewels. These are the keys. These are those things that make life so worthwhile. They are, and they are non-negotiable. They're non-negotiable. Once you acquire them, through all of the adversity, once you acquire them, they are non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. And they are respectful things. They are things that God honors in people because everybody don't have it. They are to be aspired to. They are the things that all of these scenarios of life look to distract you from. They are. That's what I got. That's what I'm getting when I get to the whys. Why would you allow all these things to befall your chosen people, the people that you love? And when I say chosen, I'm not talking about no ethnic group or no gender or none of that. I'm talking about chosen by the heart. This is a heart thing. This is a heart thing. This ain't no racial thing. This is a heart thing. This is not no confrontation. I'm out strengthen you. No, this is a heart thing. This is all heart. Just thinking, y'all. Just thinking. So when God is informed of these people, in order for God to really know who they are and what they're working with, God has to have them tested. You gotta be tested. And God's tests are not like man's tests. God's tests show the truth. Because man will try to test you too. But the God within you fails man's tests. Man's tests are not as significant as God's tests. Man's tests have flaws riddled within them that give you a total opposite reaction to which you are looking to receive. Only God's tests matter, friend. Only God's tests. That's how you find the nature of a thing. That's how you know. Because when you walk with God long enough, you come in and out of enough of God's tests, you'll know the hand of God. Same way, like I said about the voice of God. If you've listened long enough and you paid attention, because attention is the currency. If you've paid attention long enough, you know the voice of God. No one can come upon you and fool you into believing that they are the voice of your father or your mother, because you know that voice. Yet if you've never paid attention to it, and the time comes for you to be tested, you will fail because you never studied, you never paid attention. Anybody can come upon you as if they are that thing, and they are not. This is what matters, y'all. This is the thing of this life. Your actions matter, because what happened? Your actions show, all of your past actions are like currency. You're like get out of jail cards when you're playing Monopoly. Because everybody's gonna land on that piece of property at least once or twice on their way around the board. It's about how many get out of jail cards you've accrued along the way. I'm telling you, this thing is miraculous. And I see why God shortened the lifespan. Because if you live long enough in this thing, you'll figure it out. If you live long enough, like Noah and like all of those Enoch and Abraham and all of those ones way back when lived 800-900 years, you'd have figured this whole thing out. It will be a wrap. You will be able to perfect it so much so that all the generations will have no choice than to succeed. And this is the problem with the children. This is why the children are always in this cycle. Because the baton is not passed on and honored amongst the next generations. It's always that second or third generation that drops the baton. And they got to start all over again. Just over here thinking as usual. You're loved. I'll never, ever, 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 ever stop telling you. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you love me. I don't care if you don't respect me. I don't care if you respect me. This is not about that. Not to say that anybody does or doesn't. I'm just throwing that out there because I don't want you to think that I'm telling you this thing for you to like, or for those people that only agree with me to vibe to this. This is a universal love. This is a love of those that don't feel love. You're loved. This is a love of those that feel love immensely. Multiply that love. You're loved even more than that. Every last one of us are loved. Every single last one of us. And our God, our Creator, no matter what tribe of this earth you are of, no matter what gender, none of that. Every last one of us is loved so much that this loving energy that's always been with you tugs at you. It constantly tries to equal out all the frequencies of the unloving essence that we've acquired and allowed to pile upon ourselves on our journey through this crazy thing of life. That's how much you love. It never quits. It never quits trying for you. Ever. Because that's just how much you love. Stand in that today. Peace and love.